Yeah, I'm ready. Wait, what did MJ say we're calling this again? Oh, right. No, I got it. I know we're live. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. Live. In person, live Raw. Welcome back to News of My Fiance. Raw, live, in person, live Raw. With Morgan Jones and DJ Ambush. Reporting live from the 5-alarm fire that is downtown Portland. Thank you for joining us. We extremely appreciate your support. Be a part of the text chat fam squad. And join the conversation in the chat.
A big shout out to our studio sponsors, We Out Here Magazine and Spirited Justice, for providing this dope space for us each Monday. Shout out to our production team, Kyle G of Residual Audio.
Yay.
And Jess, who would be here. We are big love and hugs to. Shout out to our studio sponsors.
I want to apologize.
We love you, Jess. We hope you get better soon. Really?
I'm sorry.
Before we get started, fiancés, let's make sure that you do all the things you like, you subscribe, you comment, you hit that motherflubbing bell, you know, all those things. We need the algorithm to notice us.
Yes.
So tell your friends, click those buttons.
Yes.
Tell your spouses.
Yes.
Kids, your kids' friends, parents, word of mouth is what I'm asking for.
Super shots for our YouTube subscribers. We're holding steady at 65.
Okay, well that means we picked up a couple.
That means we're not losing any.
And we're not losing any.
Yeah.
Win.
Yeah.
Win.
Super shout out to them. We're growing. We're growing our compound. I mean, the community. We're putting it together. Huge shout out to all y'all for definitely being here from the beginning. Let's keep the quality continuing to pop. And I can tell you this, week to week, there's definitely been an improvement. I'm just so excited about all the work that's being done behind the scenes with our team, with our crew, everyone that is our remote crew as well, always checking in on us.
Yes.
Remote producers, shout out to all of that. So, yeah.
We here. Thank you.
So what are we talking about this week?
Oh, there's so much, We're going to talk about Mingus Mapps. This is a local situation here. We are also just watching a lot of misleadership around the country.
Yeah.
That's nothing new at all. But the style right now is a lot. So we're going to talk about some Mingus, going to talk about some Eric Adams, a little, got to do the Henyard Watch,
Gotta do the Henyard Watch.
Super Mayor Tiffany Henyard, probably on the run right now.
I want to be like, she's back, but she never left.
And then we're going to get into a hyper-local story, but it is a far more broad conversation than just an incident. We're going to talk about the Deadstock coffee collab with the cops in Beaverton. And again, using this scenario, we'll tell you what the scenario is, but we're using this as a catalyst to have a larger conversation.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
This is not meant to hurt feelings or make anybody feel away or, talk down in any way at all. We are really just trying to have a larger conversation about change.
Absolutely. Because, it's super important that we try to move past this place where we're having these polarized conversations about every single thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, if you decided that you're on this side of the fence for this particular issue, then that means this is where you reside for everything else. And it's just not true. It's just not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a chat. I think that's Michelle. Hey, boo. It says also, wow, the sound and stream quality are so much better this week.
Yes.
It is Michelle. P.S. This is Michelle. Hi, babes. Hi, Michelle.
Glad I'm not the only one still saying win in 2024.
I'm telling you, the glow up has been happening.
Yeah.
With the broadcast, and it's fun to be a part of. And by that I mean away from it and watching you guys do new things.
We're making it work, man. We're making it work.
Yeah.
Very happy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I know that happened this weekend was somebody had a birthday.
Whoa. Slow down, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like I'm still in it. It was great. There's just like the energy online. It's amazing. It's amazing. It was good. Turned 48, 2 more years till I'm 50. Woo. And then I'm going to turn 49 after that. Just going to start counting on back.
Okay. That is how that goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then people will lose track, and then I'll have like my Hollywood age, And like, how old is Ambush? Because I definitely
Your Hollywood age.
Yeah.
I think you needed to start that a while ago, though.
No, it's not too
okay.
late.
Right.
Someone definitely said to me, shout out to Lakeitha, definitely was like, 48? I thought you were the young youth running around here.
I like it.
And that feels great.
Yeah.
That
she was
feels
lying.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, sorry.
Wow.
I was keeping it real.
Oh, you thought we were keeping it real today. Interesting. But nah, it was great. Shout out to one of our fiancés, Rudo. He asked me, without knowing it was my birthday, he asked me like a month ago if I would participate in a panel discussion at the Retro Gaming Expo, which I'd never attended.
Which is wild. I'm shocked you had not attended that.
Yeah. I just haven't spent enough time treating myself,
True, yeah.
So yeah, went to the Retro Gaming Expo. I was one of 4 panelists, and the panel was about horror games, with which I had an extensive history and just never thought about it. Like, there are people that are like we started talking about like the earliest horror game I played was Wolfenstein, which was the precursor for Doom.
Okay.
And it was a PC game.
Okay.
So if you were to like, I was right now, I would never at any point consider myself a PC gamer.
Right.
But that was like, if you were playing Oregon Trail, you were PC gaming.
Absolutely.
Period.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's just Jeopardy, 1,000% different at this point. I mean,
right.
I still am like, you have to spend how much on the build of why are you building it from scratch?
Right.
And
whose turn is it? I don't know about this. Yeah.
I'll be like,
yeah, that's what. Like, even, so there were like other games that we played on the PC, but I needed a joystick because I just wanted to have the joystick.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was interesting. So we're talking about some of the horror games that we played. And I was like, so for me, it was like Wolfenstein, then Zero Tolerance, then Nightmare Creatures on the PS1, and Zero Tolerance was on Sega Genesis. Then currently, Kaylin got me into This Is Us. Or Last of Us, rather.
Yeah.
Last of Us. Yeah. This Is Us is not a horror.
Not the same thing.
And then I've been playing Death Stranding. I replayed Death Stranding, and there are horror elements. But I was like, for
the
people
baby.
to just be like, the baby. Every time you hear the baby, it's horror.
Yeah.
But like, shout out to Lou. Yeah, but it was like, wow, I really didn't think about how much I loved playing horror games. Because I don't feel like I purposely seek them out.
Yeah.
But it's like horror action, yeah. But in any event, I went to the expo thinking to myself, I'm going to be safe. I don't have to worry about being in a compromising financial position. There's not going to be a bunch of comics for me to grab. Mm-hmm. There's not going to be a bunch of action figures. Mm-hmm. Only thing that might have me spending $20 to $40 unannounced or unaccounted for would be some minifigs. Because, I mean, they're like 5 for $20. What do? You have to, you're not getting them at that price anywhere else besides the cons. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I didn't see any minifigs. And it has something to do with, they may have been there, but the vending stopped at 5:30. Our panel was at 5.
Oh.
So the little bit of time I had, but when I got there, And I didn't get a chance to go back on Sunday. In any event, it was amazing. I did find some games. I got Def Jam Rap Superstar. Def Jam Rap Star.
Rap Star for
$5.
Incredible.
Come on.
That's a find.
Even if I have no intentions of playing it, I have to have that.
Yeah, it's a find.
Yeah, that's a find. And then I got Capcom versus Marvel vs. Capcom Ultimate Edition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ghost Rider in this one. I'm like, I don't have this. Let me get this now.
There are 1 million faces on the cover of this.
Yes.
Game. Like,
give it to me. Give it to me directly. And that was $12. So I spent $17.
I mean, fantastic work is what I'm hearing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was great. All the way great. Yeah. So.
And you loved every moment of being on the panel.
I did. It was good. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, that was fun.
Did Rudo tell you he didn't know it was your birthday? Because I have a feeling he did know it was your birthday.
He didn't know when he asked me, and then when I told him, he was like, "Wait, what? Well, you don't want to do that on your birthday." I said, "Are you kidding me?"
My birthday
I said, "That is your present.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I want to do that on my birthday."
Yeah.
Yeah. Lock me in. So here's the crazy part. Zach was there too. So we get there, and it's maybe like half an hour or 45 minutes to our panel. And we try to get in the door, just be in there early. Mm-hmm. And one of the attendants was like, this panel started late, so that means your panel is going to start late, probably like 10, 15 minutes. I was like, all right, cool. So then me and Zach hit the floor. So now it's 5 o'clock. I'm closing out my transaction. And I'm like, all right, let me head on over. She said it's going to start about 10, 15 minutes late. And I get there, and the door's already closed, and our panel has started.
Oh.
So I get there like 5:05, 5:03, 5:05. And I'm like, uh-oh. So then I go in, and as soon as Rudo sees me, he's like, yeah, like, you made it. So I'm like, I'm walking in, I'm like, yeah, apologies. I was told we'd be starting late. So at this point, everyone's going down the table, introducing themselves, and like, what do they do?
Right.
So he gets to me, and I'm doing that. And then Rudo says, oh, you weren't here when we gave everyone instructions? You're supposed to tell them when your birthday is. And I was like, Rudo, I was on him, like I said, I feel like that's not true.
Might not be true.
That might not be true. I said, but yeah, today is my birthday. And then everybody said, happy birthday. Rudo's a piece of work.
That made you feel really good, though. So thank you, Rudo, is what you mean to say.
Maybe.
Maybe not. Okay. Maybe. Fine.
But Sunday night, no requests. That was awesome. That was great.
Really
Shout out
fun.
to everybody that came through. Shout out to Millie.
I mean,
one of the besties from Philly in town.
Didn't know what to do with myself. Like, seeing her walk in was just like incredible.
Yo.
Just incredible.
That was great.
And she still just gives really great hugs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
A wonderful time.
Yeah. Shout out to all the no request regulars. Shout out to just, members of the Portland hip hop community.
Yeah.
That have come to love us and just come out and support. Like, it was really, really dope. It was awesome. Got some great gifts. I got to stop by 503 Records.
Oh.
And yeah, I got 2 shirts from them.
Ooh.
No. Got shoot out there and grab some cassettes. He said he got some new stuff in there. So I've been bumping that Cypress Hill CD since the last event we had with them, when they came out for the day party. It was great.
Amazing.
Yes, it was quite amazing.
I'm so happy you had a wonderful birthday weekend.
I did. Kyle asked me, he's like, how was it? I was like, mostly chill until last night, until the party. And I'm like, that's a great weekend for me. Chill? Yeah. What?
I don't know how. Maybe it was chill for you.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah. It's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, on my way down here, I saw a headline that there is a new suit against Diddy, a civil suit.
Yes.
I was also listening to, and I don't know the details on that, so you're going to have to give me the details on that.
Ooh, let me find some details.
Oh, yikes. Okay.
I have some details. Yes, I do have some details. I did watch some Mark Lamont Hill prep for this. Yeah. So I got some deets.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. Shooter McGavin. Do your thing.
I was just also listening to a thing about NDAs and how many people working for, celebrities or incredibly wealthy people will have NDAs, but you don't get to just then do a bunch of criming.
Right.
And not talk about it.
Right.
You don't.
The NDA does not protect criming.
No.
Right.
No. If you're going to do some criming, but I mean, who's going to tell you that?
Right.
The person who you're signing an NDA for is like, this is binding. You're going to have to pay me, hundreds of millions of dollars or something.
Right.
I don't know what the NDA
You're in
is.
trubs, bro.
Yeah, you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
If I find out that you have, told or talked or whatever, disclosed anything, you just don't get to do the criming
At all.
and then be like, well, there's an NDA, so that can invalidate some things.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
So what I saw, the woman was with her lawyer, and they had like I'm not sure if it was a video press conference, but they made a statement.
Yeah.
And what she described was pretty graphic, and it involved Diddy and one of his bodyguards, I believe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was
pretty brutal.
Yeah, pretty brutal. And I'm just thinking to myself, how much more of this is going to come out? How many more stories are we going to get, especially from victims? Nevertheless, what's going to come out as a result of the investigation, as evidence starts being, leaked and things of that nature. It's like, I remember after Mark played that part of the press conference, he was quiet, and I didn't know whether his mic was muted or something, but he was just sitting there for a while. And I was feeling the exact same way after, that was described. What actually happened was described. I'm just like, yeah.
Heavy.
What I really hope is that, not necessarily as we hear more of what took place, because I believe there is a gross need for people to have a certain amount of information delivered in a certain way for them to be like, oh, I guess it happened, or for it to continue to drive the conversation. And now we're talking about the acts versus the people these actions were done to.
Right.
So it's tough wanting more information to come out and expecting that impact to drive people in the right direction.
Right.
When for a lot of us, it's just going to be entertainment, which is really, really, really fucked up. Like, yeah.
Entertainment or
gossip.
Thing, a devil that needs an advocate.
Right.
That the devil never needs an advocate.
Right.
Let's not forget. But yeah, like there are people that are just contrarian and want to argue against whatever they think is supposed to be the mainstream thought, you know? And it really does. It's really interesting to me how many people will do the like immediate write-off, right? Like, oh, bitches be tripping, you know?
Yeah.
How quick they are to do that and not realize that that's a part of rape culture and that's a part of, like, why didn't she bring it to us earlier? Well, look how you're responding right now. You know, like, would you have believed? You don't believe today. Would you have believed then?
That right there. You don't believe today. Why does it matter when this person comes forward?
There's also just a very gross misunderstanding about how people process trauma and how they deal with things. expecting people to immediately be able to articulate what has happened to them, how they feel harmed.
Right.
Like, and to go to the police. I mean, again, women go to the police all the time and get absolutely zero help.
Right.
From sexual assault to domestic violence to, somebody harming your kids. Like, there is just this, we just don't get believed in the same way. But somehow in any of these conversations, there's this, those contrarians, people like arguing against the validity of an assault like that.
It's a very interesting choice to make.
Well, it's an interesting choice to make, but it's also like they are saying that women just get believed. And so that can't be the way that society works. Right. It isn't how society works. Women do not just get believed.
You're proof of that.
You're literally doing the not believing.
Right.
And you it's wild. So like it's the, when Me Too started, there was this sort of consistent like joke of who's next, right?
Yeah.
Not realizing the indictment that is on men.
Right.
Y'all like did not even realize at all that in that moment you are saying, oh yeah, we all do this.
Right.
This is normal. And I don't mean all, obviously.
Not all men. Yes, all men.
I mean, like, it really is this the same kind of idea of affirmative action, where you have people arguing against affirmative action when the biggest benefiters of it are white people. And so white women specifically. So it's this Black and brown people get completely ripped to shreds. We are DEI hires. We have never been able to actually hold our own, I guess, in our fields.
Right.
But so the things keep going, right? Like the discrimination continues to happen. Black people are not, like, we know that just on applications, names will be like, never mind, they don't even make it through the algorithm.
Right.
Right? So what do you mean we're just getting things handed to us? We're still in the middle of being actively discriminated against.
Absolutely.
Actively. And it's like, oh, nah, you guys get everything. Where? When? How? Where is it?
There's been no DEI initiative that has solved anything. Like,
no.
You didn't DEI hire out of the oppression. Like, it's
not even, it's the misunderstanding that people have about systemic issues, and that not wanting to believe that anything outside of you and outside of your control has anything to do with the decisions you make and your preferences or what you like or anyone else's reality. There's this major, disconnect's the wrong word, because I think it's a very purposeful, like...
Yeah, it's willful. Definitely. Yeah. So for me, like, that's where I have a super short fuse, because I've had this conversation too many times with too many of the same people or just men in my community, where in 2024, if you are still asking in 2024, why did she take so long? I'm not doing this with you. I am not. Because I remember my earliest responses to that was, you don't watch SVU? Because, like, who hasn't watched enough? Like, if you haven't been educated enough in that by SVU alone,
right?
What are we talking about? Right. So it's interesting when we're talking about, like, so the people who claim I would have handled this differently, I wouldn't have taken so long. These are people that present that they have stronger personalities. They would have shown up differently in those moments.
Certainly.
And that's cool, right? Let's go with that premise. If you are the strongest person you know, just in identifying yourself on that side of the dynamic, you don't understand that everyone else
You're telling us that everybody else
is weaker.
Yeah, right.
And would have less, resources and
wherewithal
to handle that situation. So where is the lack of why is there no understanding around that you, king of the castle, everyone else in the jungle, the lesser animals,
right,
going to have an issue fending for themselves? Like, why did they take so long? How long did it take you to tell your boss, I need a raise?
Ooh.
How long did it take you to tell your boss, I can't work weekends? Have you done it yet?
No, actually.
So you just went to another job? Oh, so this person didn't report their rapist, they just went into another relationship with that trauma? You can't, there's no... So yeah, I'm sorry I'm getting so loud, but my fuse gets super, because you're not having a genuine conversation with me.
Right.
And I like to have solution-oriented conversations. If we just talking to talk, we could talk about video games. There's many things we can talk about that don't involve real people and real things happening. Like, don't act like you care.
There is a interesting, thing that we do in society of just sort of knowing we don't know anything about a topic, but jumping right in it anyway. And being like, well, like the amount of people that I watch give up after being like fighting tooth and nail for a thing. And it's like, why is this the hill you're dying on? Like, it's clear you don't know, like, even a historical context of the thing, right? Which I'm not even like that, no shade to that. It's just you don't have it. And so the conversation that we're trying to have or, in that moment can't be had.
Right.
And it certainly can't be had if the person is going to be argumentative or defensive because their argument isn't winning or, whatever.
I mean, it's perfectly okay, guys. It's perfectly okay to be around the situation and not have to give input. Like, you can be a part of the conversation. You can be part of the conversation simply by listening.
Yeah, means, absolutely.
You don't have to, like, if the way you're entering the conversation is, I don't know.
Or if you're entering the conversation and then it is made clear, you just keep getting, points that, that you've never heard of. So I don't mean just this person is like, the person you're talking to is just like saying, no, those things aren't true. They haven't heard of it. And then they're saying that's not true.
Right.
And so it's like, whoa. Are you even open to being wrong about anything? It's hard to be wrong, right? But I'm open to being corrected all the time because I don't want to look stupid.
Right.
I don't want to be out here saying the wrong thing. And some of the things you're going to get it wrong. Nobody gets it right all the time. There is no expectation of that. I don't expect that from anyone, myself, anything like that. But part of being a person who is ever evolving, who is ever learning, who is trying to be something to a larger part of the community, right? Someone who's trying to be integral in change.
Right.
You have work to do. Like, you have to know what has happened, what is happening, not just in your immediate city, but what happened in Tulsa, what happened in, New York. What are the things happening in this world and what has happened and why do we do the certain things we do today?
Right. How do we get here?
That matters more than any of your opinion, and if you're basing your opinions on misinformation or not enough information, yikes.
Yeah.
And it isn't that we don't all do that. We all do that, but it's still a yikes. You can't just stop at the headline.
No.
And that is a lot of what we do. A lot of people just stop at the headline. They're outraged.
Like, I got to speak on it. You really don't.
You got to speak on the thing you wouldn't even give a read? Like, you got to have an opinion and you got to tell people about it, but you wouldn't even read the article. to even know if the thing that you're mad about happened. Like there, and I understand this is media literacy as well.
Yeah.
This is not just, people being dumb. I'm not saying that at all. At all.
Right.
There are so many reasons, though, and I think that that's why I get frustrated, is that there are so many purposeful, systemic reasons for you to not know a lot.
Yeah.
And watching people fight to have the freedom to not learn it, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You just don't want to have to learn these new things, so you're just gonna pretend that they don't happen or didn't happen, or I don't know. I got big issues.
I understand where we are as far as like, the lack of critical thinking and just, the changes in the education that led us here. I guess what I'm going to want to get some information on or some assistance unpacking is what's that directive to want to speak on things that you're completely ignorant about.
Yeah.
I want to learn a little bit more about that. You mentioned Tulsa a little bit earlier. I did just see someone hit me in the text, one of my text threads, that the DOJ is opening its first ever federal probe into the Tulsa Race Massacre.
I'll knock everything over right now.
Morgan, before it was, you were at least limiting your rage to tables. You can't knock everything
all
over.
of it. All of it.
Someone help me.
Do you know that there are people still alive right now from that massacre, and they just got told, sucks to be you?
Yeah, at the state level. Sorry.
What do you want us to do about the thing that happened to you? Aren't you about to die anyway? You're fine. Like, that's literally how they treated those women.
You're still here
How we could ever be in a position where we are begging to be made not whole, because you can't make anyone whole when you literally obliterate a community.
Yeah.
You can't make them whole. There is for every nonprofit in every city right now where gentrification and purposeful, displacing of citizens who are now like, whoa, that thing happened. Oh, crazy. We should maybe, I don't know, see if they want to come back or something. Maybe we'll throw some apartments up. Do you want to live in an apartment over here?
Bruh.
Huh? You did this thing.
Right.
Systemically this thing happened. It negatively impacted generations of people.
Yeah.
It stole the wealth building opportunity from people.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna make Haiti pay France for 100 years plus.
Yeah.
So that, former slave owners are made whole.
Yeah.
From what they have lost by the only successful full-blown revolt. But there's a whole reason why they talk, that's no one's trying to explain that story so that we understand that did happen.
Right.
Because part of white supremacy's story and of slavery is, what else was supposed to happen? What else were we supposed to do with those people that are savages?
Right. They are savages.
They are savages, you guys. And
Guys, come on.
What were we to do?
Yeah.
And don't forget, it was us that also ended it. I don't even know how I got here now. I'm sorry.
After all.
There are just, there are so many, the Tulsa thing.
Yeah.
The fact that the DOJ hasn't done this, what are we talking about?
It's nasty. But here's the thing. I know how you feel about it.
Do you?
Yeah. But we're entering a new era. Okay?
Of
imperialism. We're about to get our first Black woman as president. Okay?
Okay.
The timing of that with the DOJ doing their federal probe, one, plus 1 equals reparations.
I will knock everything over on this table. I will knock the table. I will break everything.
You don't like hope.
You know, I don't like fairy tales when I need it to be real. That's where I'm at. I don't want a fairy tale. And I don't want, I just can't believe that we have to even have a conversation in that regard when it was a handful of people the last suit that they brought.
Yeah.
I think it's 2 women now that are the only last survivors.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And we're talking like 104 years old and 107 years old.
Hanging on.
Hanging on.
Yeah. Straight
and
up.
And you, through all of these different suits that have been brought, at no point was the federal Department of Justice like, hey, I wonder what's going on over there.
Right.
Hey, did you guys know about that thing in Tulsa a long time ago?
Right.
Like, I feel like it's just not, we're just not going to talk about it. We're not going to do it. We're not going to, you know what I mean? So, neat, I suppose. I just am also like, how many, I don't know how many probes do we need? How many surveys? How many, what are they called? Like, think tanks. How many committees do you need to put together to find out that monetary reparations is the only way to even begin a conversation about equity or equality?
Yeah, for sure.
What has been stripped from people is impactful to generations beyond them. And it is curious to me that people are able to understand that when they're talking about wealth building, but not when you don't have wealth. It's like, well, I mean, what do you want me to do about my great-great-great-great-grandfather? I didn't have anything to do with that.
Wasn't me.
Correct.
Right.
You are also still benefiting from this thing, right? You are benefiting.
The nation has benefited.
All the globe.
Right.
And it has also suffered hugely.
Yep.
You know, like there's a handful of people that all of this works for, that the system actually is handing everything to them, right? And then everybody else is legitimately fend for yourself. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Nasty work. Nasty.
And when you got nothing for how the bootstraps work, or no instruction?
Carlos called you a hope hater. So.
Wow.
I just wanted, to make you aware of that.
Okay. Blame Obama. Thanks, Obama. For nothing again.
No, Carlos also said many other things. I just found the most incendiary. But yeah.
Okay, I just want everybody else to, note that, write that down, or, put it somewhere in your pocket for later.
Put it somewhere in your pocket for later, like a text message. Like a text message from Eric Dyson to Nancy Mace.
Segue King.
That
was nice.
My segs be weighing.
Okay.
My segs have weight to them. Segue King in it. So yeah, I don't know if anyone else saw this. I feel like everyone saw the back and forth they had on. It was Abby Phillips's show on CNN, panel discussion, and Nancy Mace was on there just disrespecting the vice president. Kamala, she was doing that, and they kept correcting her, and she said, "I'll call her whatever I want.
I do what I want."
Listen, I don't know what you blacks are talking about.
I am free, white, and 21. Okay?
Right.
Okay?
I run this.
Yeah.
My town.
My world.
Okay?
Indeed.
And she was corrected over and over. It got to a pretty vicious exchange between her and Michael Eric Dyson.
Okay.
And apparently, after the show, they took a photo together. On his phone, or whoever's phone they took the photo. They took the photo ended up on his phone, and he texted her
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was with his phone.
Yeah.
I think that was made clear. It was
he texted her and was like, shh, don't tell nobody we look good together. Kissy face.
Because needed. This is called networking. No?
I've networked for years. That's not part of it.
Okay.
That's not part of it. Called her gorgeous, I believe.
I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this was brought to light because Nancy Mace printed out the text message.
Took it to the floor.
Took it to the floor in a committee hearing and was like, they don't really care.
Like dead ass said they don't really care. Let me tell you how I know.
Played the shit out of him.
Yo!
Played him hard. Mans did a 7-minute response video.
First of all, you already know it's wrong. You already know. No. This woman said, you text me, you wanted to take a picture with me. We took the picture. You said, shh, don't tell nobody, but we look real good together. Michael Eric Dyson is a married man, right?
That is correct.
Okay. So all of this, that happens, and your response needs to either be, that isn't true, or, yes, it is.
Right.
And, I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know what he needed to say or should have said. I just know it shouldn't have been 7 minutes long of him stammering and trying to give so much context that when you're trying to explain it away before you explain what happened.
Right.
That's a tactic. It's a thing to do to get people to not be as mad at you, but it is not like an honest representation of what happened, right?
Right. So
Michael Eric Dyson does this 7-minute, I just said we should, somebody else told me we should take a picture, and so we went to take a picture, but you asked her to take the picture. It was not no one else took pictures.
Okay, wait.
It wasn't the group. It wasn't, the panel.
I gotta pause you. I gotta stop you right here.
Love to interrupt black women.
I do not love to interrupt black women.
It.
I have a bad habit of interrupting people. Everyone.
Oh, so just everyone gets it. You don't see color. Cool.
I'm an equal opportunity interrupter.
All right.
So I wanted to be accurate because I felt like there were some elements missing in our discussion about the text message. So we have the text that he sent to her of the photos. There was 5 photos. I guess whoever took them. Shh. So he sends them over. He says, shh, don't tell anybody we look good together. She laughed at it. She did a laugh reaction.
Okay.
And then her response was, ha, 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 which he gave a laugh reaction too. So because
he laughed at her laughing.
Right. And because I guess that wasn't enough.
He had to say more.
Well,
she didn't have anything to respond to.
So he says, well, your gorgeousness makes the photos. So there's that. With the blushing smile.
This is called flirting.
You said it was networking. So
But you told me I was wrong about that.
Here networking. It's definitely flirting. It's 100% flirting.
This is flirting.
Sir, despite your best claims of this is how you network, you was out here flirting. And I wish there's another text bubble from him, but it's cut off. And Nance.
So first of all, for me,
I hate you so much right now.
There is a thing that I can't get over, and that is that people can be so passionate about something and they aren't. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you are. If you were a pro wrestler, I would understand what was happening right now,
literally,
and I would
job.
be good with what was going on.
You're literally doing your job in that sense. Yes.
These folks are going on cable news, which many of us understand is entertainment.
Yeah.
It is.
It's cable. It's more cable than news.
It's a lot of opinion because you have to fill hours with opinion.
Right.
When you're a 24-hour news channel, you know? And refusing to like cover a lot of the things that are newsworthy. So anyway, lots of panels. Michael Eric Dyson does this all the time. He's on there. He's shouting people down. He's, talking real fast like he does and,
ripping and rhyming.
Pontificating.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Preaching up there.
Got to do it in a rhyme scheme.
Got to give him a rhyme scheme. And then you get off and you're like, hey, girl, just kidding. I know I just called you a Nazi, but that was for TV. I'm just trying to see what it do, boo. Like, gross. But that's real. Like, so many people will just be like, oh, I could never, but right. I could. Right? Like, what do you do? Why are you even pretending to be passionate about any sort of racial misgivings?
Yeah, like, sir, was she disrespecting Kamala or no?
You just argued her down that this was a racist thing, a racist trope to do.
Right.
And then you were like, I only care about that when the cameras are on.
Nasty work.
Because I would absolutely fuck you.
Nasty work. Nasty work.
I just have questions,
You know what's so crazy? The way that he didn't get the reaction he was looking for.
Which was what?
Support, just like her flirting back. Like, she hit him with the ha 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 ha. Fam. Sir, I know what that is.
Well, number one, she's at work. And let me be very clear. Fuck Nancy Mace.
Of course.
1,000%.
Of course.
Every single day.
Yeah.
But she's at work and so is he.
Right.
And so is everybody else on that panel. And it being like, and as soon as we're done, we're going to go to the afties. Like, is it for real, just like legitimate theater for y'all?
Right. Because
I know it is for a lot of people, right? But I think that Michael Eric Dyson would have something to say. Like, I think he would say he is not doing theater.
Yeah.
I think he would say that he believes in his convictions. But he also apparently believes in embarrassing the shit out of his wife. So anyway.
Yikes.
All for what, too? Like, for what? You got played out.
You got played outside, fam.
Out.
All the way out.
Had to do a 7-minute apology. Legit, just like, and then.
It was bad.
And then I used a kissy face.
It was bad.
Shut up.
It was bad. I don't suggest anyone waste 7 minutes watching that.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
No.
It's not even funny enough to be like, go laugh at it for 7 minutes.
Nah, it's not. It's just not. Nah, the execution was terrible. Before we go on break, though.
Yeah.
Definitely R.I.P. A lot happened in the last 2 days.
They come in threes.
Yeah, man. Wow. Dikembe Mutumbo. Pete Rose. Right? Kristofferson.
Wild. R.I.P.
Yeah. Did not see it. Well, I never see that coming. No one's ever planned
Dikembe Mutumbo was 58 years old.
That's it?
That's
no,
it.
Really?
Yes.
Yikes.
Like, that, brain breaking.
Yikes.
Whoa, okay. I didn't put that together until this very second, but like, he's only 10 years older than you.
All right, we can go to break.
Okay.
We can go to break. Not really sure why that was necessary. Anybody in the chat? Do you know why that was necessary? We're going to go ahead to break. We got some music for you on the interlude. And then we'll come back with the new snooze.
Things.
Sheesh. And I'm not often, this confused, right?
Yeah.
But there I was in the middle of the street with just sneakers. How did I get there?
Did you ever find out, or is this an episode of The Hangover?
It was the
a movie.
It was the weirdest dream ever. Yeah. Dreams and nightmares. And we are back.
Wow.
Huh?
I really do appreciate that you said dreams and nightmares. It makes me think about the fact that Meek Mill is back on the internet wilding.
No, come on, man.
If you missed it, our good friend wants to know who's putting all of the stories out about him and Sean Diddy Combs.
Meek is you.
I think he forgets that they were wearing matching outfits multiple times.
Meek is you.
Not too long ago.
Meek, someone needs to take away your internet access. It's you, dog.
But they've needed to take away his internet access for years. Like,
it's you, dog. It's you.
But my man said he got 100,000 for anybody who can figure out who is powering the media behind this talk of Meek and that guy. I think he said Buddy. Oh, no, he said Buddy, right? Or Old Boy or something like that.
Old Boy or something like that, yeah.
Like, you don't know that man's name anymore? But y'all were literally wearing matching outfits?
No, sir.
We've been here before, Meek.
Not going for it.
Like, what do you mean?
Shout out to everybody in the chat. It's active. Chat is active. Shout out to everyone that is watching that is not chatting. I would like for you, in this moment, everyone that is watching, hit the subscribe button.
Yeah.
Just get us over that 65. Maybe we can make it to 70 by the end of the show. Who knows?
Ooh, big numbers.
You know, let's do it. Let's do it. So we have two main stories. We have the hyper-local Deadstock Cops collab. And we have the misleadership of it all. Which one did you want to jump into first?
I honestly, we can go either way. I think they go together, right? There's a part of me that wants to do the local story so that you understand the larger importance of the misleadership that is happening around the country.
I love it.
Part of me wants to explain the misleadership so that you can understand what happened at Deadstock. Okay. You know, so I don't have a preference, but I think
I like the Deadstock. I like what you're saying with going Deadstock and then the misleadership.
Okay.
I do like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So for anyone that is unawares, you know, because we do have followers and viewers from all over the world. Global. At least that's what I'm hoping. Shout out to Nigeria. Y'all should be checking me out, B. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You know? Shout out to, Jamaica as well. Like,
Indeed.
First gen, you know what I'm saying? Like,
lineage.
You know what I'm saying? So anyways, Deadstock is a black-owned coffee shop here in Portland, downtown Portland.
Sneakerhead themed coffee shop. Let's get respect on the name.
Respect on the name.
Yeah.
Deadstock's been around for a minute. It's a dope place to kick it. Always has been.
Yes.
Not too long ago, I'm going to say like 2 years ago, maybe, they established a Deadstock Run Club. That feels like 2 years.
I don't know.
Coming out of the Panini.
Still in the Panini, guys.
Still actively in the pandemic. Yeah. Like that's the homie. Ian's the homie. Amir's the homie. Like
definitely.
Love all Deadstock. That Arnold Palmer. LeBron Palmer.
Yeah.
It's so good. And then they canned it. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yes. So this isn't the first time they've done an expansion. They did Concourse, did a little rollback, and now they're expanding into Beaverton.
Yes.
And their grand opening is tomorrow.
Yes.
So, how would you describe Beaverton to anyone who is not familiar with Portland, Oregon? Outside of that's where Nike is.
It's a suburb of Portland. It is. It's a different. It's mixed income, not the way that it used to be, but definitely. And by that I mean I think that Beaverton used to be more suburban.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
And now there's just more people. There's just more people. So you're seeing more color now. You're seeing different economic backgrounds and all of those things.
Right.
But it's a suburb. So there's, just an established presence of people.
Okay.
I don't know what you're asking.
I would just come out and say it. In relationship to Portland being dubbed the whitest city in America.
Oh,
Beaverton is a suburb of the whitest city in America.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
Okay, cool.
It is that.
Cool. So with that understanding, that's where Deadstock is opening a new location.
Yes.
You know what else is all in Beaverton? Hopefully more money. You know what I'm saying? Like you're closer to Nike. You're closer to Intel.
There's a lot of money out there.
Columbia. You know what I'm saying? Like this most certainly can be the it coffee shop, especially like you mentioned, because it's sneaker theme. These are people within the culture.
Yeah.
So, So to celebrate the grand opening, one of the things that they decided to do was a collaboration of sorts with the Beaverton Police Department. The first 100 cups were purchased by BPD. And
I'm just trying to hide.
Cops love coffee. At least that's what the memes say. Coffee and donuts. That's what they do. Every cop movie and TV show, it's a thing. In any event.
Indeed.
So there's a Instagram post that goes out. It's a shared post from the Deadstock account and the Beaverton Police Department account.
Mm-hmm.
And the response was, I don't know if it's not fair to say mixed. It was predominantly negative.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, yeah. It's online.
Yeah.
So
it's archived now, but.
Oh, I just meant that when something
online,
is online, the reactions are going to be even more polarizing, Yeah.
Shout out to Jake Williams in the chat. Deadstock Run Club participant.
Yeah. So I think that sorry.
My immediate reaction was negative.
So what I want to say is I believe that was what it appeared to be was like the police shared a post and invited them to collaborate on the post or whatever. Mm-hmm. And maybe I'm wrong about that. I could definitely be wrong about that. Mm-hmm. I just so immediately was like, who does this benefit? Who is this for? Who is this for?
In your opinion, who does it benefit?
The police.
Absolutely.
The BPD is who that benefits. Yeah. I don't, and that's it. That's what, full stop, is where I see the benefit of that.
Yeah.
And the propaganda of it all, man, the cops are gonna cop. They are going to glad hand, shake, kiss babies. They're gonna be out there saying, I'm here to keep you safe. They're, all those things.
Yeah.
That's happening.
Yeah.
And that's expected. But this is a PR move for them. This is part of the communications team is like, let's get a post out kind of thing.
Right. Right.
And for me, that is a thing that absolutely. Oh, Carlos said I saw an overwhelming amount of negative feeling comments. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's true. I think that the community that loves and appreciates and feels like Deadstock is something that they are able to not just support, but represents them in a way.
Mm-hmm. Feel safe there.
It is, for me, I am not going to any event at all hosted by the police or paid for by the police and I'll say knowingly.
Yeah.
I'm not knowingly doing that. My interactions with the police are likely different than a lot of people's, right? But what we definitely know is systemically, the police are an arm of oppression. That's it. They are here to literally protect property and not actual people. And so again, who is this for? The relationship between the police and just the Black community. Mm-hmm. Not great, right? But that's not because Black people are unreasonable and can't be talked to.
Right.
And the way that these kind of things get framed is like, well, we just need to open the door and have a dialogue.
We got to open channels of dialogue. As if we haven't been screaming, "Don't kill us." Right.
We don't. We actually have to stop asking for people that oppress us to stop. They're not going to.
Yeah.
They benefit from this.
Right, right.
So a conversation isn't a thing. And, I don't want to discourage anybody who wants to do change and wants to be a part of change. I encourage those same people to find out what has happened before you had this idea.
Right. That's key. No, that's key. People who have the energy, people who have the intent and excitement around making change, that is awesome. But it is extremely important, like you mentioned, to engage with those that are already involved.
Yeah.
So, yes, there were tons of negative reactions and responses to this. I am curious now, though, thinking about the whole joint post, like the people that responded positively, are you followers of the BPD?
The police?
You know what I'm saying?
Right. I could totally be wrong about that. Yeah. It could have just been, Deadstock did that post. I don't know. I'm not trying to.
Regardless, it was a shared post, period. Right. And it wasn't a surprise to anyone who shared it. Like, there was a conversation. So, whether it came from Deadstock's account or the police's account, it was a shared post. That was understood.
It was a plan.
It was promo.
There's an event.
It's marketing. It's promo. I remember being really, really, being a zealot around women's rights. And I don't know what happened, what conversation I had. I know this was around 2-1 Live days. So shout out to Rhythm and Jeray, and of course you, and other women in my life that opened my eyes to some of the things that were happening. And you want change immediately. And I'm running with this privilege of being a man, still a Black man, but you're still running with this male privilege. And I'm going to, right all the wrongs. I'm going to talk to these people. We're going to make this is ridiculous. And what ends up happening is there's tons of missteps that come with that. When you lead with, it could be the most positive energy, the most awesome intent, thoughtful intent as well. When you're uninformed or you just don't have the tools, you are going to fuck things up. You are going to hurt feelings. You're going to have missteps.
You may create harm.
Yeah. And in a situation like this, where, race relations and, civil rights and social justice, it's a ever-evolving landscape. What we don't need are moves being made that validate dishonest initiatives. So having community relation type events with the police, that's something that we found out didn't work in the 60s. If we're doing that in 2024, we're signaling to a group of people, definitely our oppressors, that they can still run the same game.
Yeah, that the playbook is still in play.
Still valid. I spent 2 years, and I mentioned this on our Thursday show, and I'm sure a lot of people may be surprised to hear this, but I spent 2 years on the PPB Training Advisory Council. Portland Police Department Training Advisory Council. I spent 2 years there. I went in with a couple of ideas about getting information on the inside, really trying to understand what's happening there. It wasn't a change things from the inside perspective for me, because I don't believe in that anymore. Shout out to Jay-Z in the NFL. Perspective ruiner. But
aren't we past kneeling?
And while in there, There were a couple of meetings where we were in there with some police officers, not just rank and file, like higher up, supervisors, sergeants, in some of these meetings. I've gone to the training facility. I've toured that. Of course, it's part of the whole process if you want to give advice on training and accountability and things of that nature. And one of the things that was expressed to me, as I told them, I said, some of the issues that we have when we talk about community engagement and community relations, we don't feel like you guys are people. Because here it is, we can watch someone get shot unjustly, and it's happening in another state, right? We look at our local police department like y'all are all in the same gang. And that ends up happening because when these injustices are taking place, you guys here home are quiet.
Right.
You're silent.
Right.
You act as if we didn't all just see this injustice happen.
Boy.
And that officer's response to me was, well, we don't have a choice. We actually can't speak. We cannot make any political statements at all. Like, nah. Against the job. We cannot do that. So, okay, cool. It's part of your job description to be in lockstep with systemic oppression.
Because that's the job.
Literally the job.
It's the job.
Okay, so then you're not the person we need to talk to about this.
At all.
Also, if you're not able to even talk to each other and hold each other accountable, there's no need for us to be having a dialogue or creating bridges for conversations down here where us, the oppressed, are having a conversation with the oppressed on the other side. Like, in the way of, you can't even speak. You can't even speak your mind. Your job does not allow you to speak your mind. So why am I talking to you? What conversation are we going to have? Like, what are we doing? And I'm not saying that everyone has that understanding, right? Because we talk about where people are, different walks of life, how they're approaching a situation from different perspectives. But anyone that is doing social justice work actively would look at this and be like, this isn't the most informed decision making.
Yeah. So for this very specific, incident, there are a few things that I think are notable and that need to be discussed because on a larger scale, we just have a lot of, misunderstandings about things. And so one is everybody is on a different part in their evolution and their education. Absolutely. And the things they know and the things they implement and the things that they dive into, right? I am a person who believes that every single thing is political. Because if it affects your life, it's political. Somebody can try to legislate that.
Right.
We definitely have, there is no question that there is systemic oppression, period. But that the police are an arm of that.
Right.
And you don't have, and it is, it's the system. So talking to one cop, talking to 18 cops, talking to 57, you're talking to individuals, and this isn't an individualistic issue.
Right.
You can't one cup of coffee at a time it. This is literally a system that is spending money, time, all of their resources on telling you that it doesn't exist.
Right.
In order for it to continue to exist. And so giving the idea that you can do this individualism when it comes to systems is flawed. And it's something that does not work. It isn't, we didn't get the right person to do it yet, or, that kind of thing. It isn't a thing. And so I'm not saying that everybody who has ever had that idea and tried to do it is, anti-Black or something like that.
Certainly not, yeah.
Like I'm saying misinformed.
Yeah.
That's it. And it is unfortunate when we are misinformed and we're misinformed and loud about it.
Yeah. Misinformed with a platform.
Yeah. Like we see it all the time. Pull that up, Jamie. Like we see Joe Rogan give disinformation, misinformation, all the wrong things throughout a 3.5 hour podcast.
Right.
And then, oh, wait, Jamie, why'd the internet lie? Like we see that all the time.
Jamie, could you look up why they're boycotting Deadstock?
So thank you for bringing that up because this was the thing.
You said anti-Black, and I was like, to the anti-Black of it.
So here's the thing. I just want to start by saying cancel culture is not real. Mm-hmm. And by that I mean people do not lose their livelihoods because of the thing that happened, except for,
Kristofferson Michelle. She's the only one. She's the only one I can keep going back to. She is the only one that's ever paid an actual price. Career derailed.
I mean, a bad choice was made.
That was a super bad choice.
Thanks for bringing up that choice, though, because this is the same to me. It very much in the same way of capitalism really will just eat our brains. Yeah. We will just be stuck in this perpetual loop of like not realizing that is a system of oppression and that in order for other people to be rich under capitalism, other people have to literally be destitute.
Yeah.
And if your economic model means that people have to die in order for that model to work, I think it's a bad model.
Yeah.
I think we should not do it.
It don't work.
I don't think that you can change it from the inside. I don't think that you can make it capitalism but Black. I don't think you can do any of the things that capitalism is and it work, and it be better than. I mean, you literally have to have people in positions of absolute desperation in order for capitalism to work.
Yeah. And then who's it working for?
So for when Kristofferson Michelle is like, a check is a check, it's a performance. I'm just getting paid to do a performance. This just happens to be for the inauguration of Donald Trump.
Here's the interesting part. Part of her defense was, I took this as an opportunity to have a conversation. Do you remember that?
No.
That was part of her defense for why she accepted to sing at his inauguration, at Trump's inauguration.
Well, I would say that is it's what it looks like to me that happened with Deadstock.
Right.
Because this is opinion. Opinion. What it looked like from my side of the screen, right, was a grand opening event was going to happen, or is happening. Mm-hmm. People were not cool with that decision. That was not a celebration. That was an unsafe feeling. It was very confusing. Why would that be a part of something that is so celebratory and should be really exciting for a lot of folks?
Right.
Our community absolutely champions Deadstock. All like support.
Absolutely.
So seeing the negative reactions and then hearing, well, this was like, building a bridge and doing this for my community. I don't believe that. And by that I mean, that sounds like the Kristofferson Michelle. Like, I took a check and, well, really what I was doing was opening the door for a conversation.
I feel you.
Because you weren't. And in this moment, when your community is telling you, this is not what I want, and your idea is to to do it anyway, then who are you building? The bridge is going where?
Which community are you building the bridge for?
Yeah, who's the bridge for?
Right.
And I think when we can quickly recognize when the bridge ain't for us, Yeah. Like you can get that real quick. We deal with not just performative nature, but very, like I say this all the time, Portland and the Pacific Northwest has its own brand and style of racism.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people who come here from other places that are like, whoa, you know, like what is this?
Yeah.
It's very specific. And if you are not used to it, you won't know what's happening there, you know, until you do.
Right.
This is the kind of thing that doesn't actually serve any community outside of the police. So,
right.
I know that there are people that feel safer when there is a police presence. But I would say that the target market of Deadstock is not the people that need a police presence to feel safe.
Absolutely.
Right? So like,
I would agree.
It just seemed off. Like it seemed like it didn't go the way that it was expected to go. And so then there was a reason it happened that, well, who could really be mad at this reason? You know?
Right.
Well,
a lot of us could be mad.
A lot of us can be upset by a measure that is not actually going to do what the intention is.
Right.
And I don't ever want to see anybody waste their time in these conversations and in these in this work.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff to know before you start being the spokesperson for anything, right? Before you use your platform to do anything.
Right.
There's so much to know about policing on its own. Just, it is born of slave catching.
Yep.
There cannot be reform to that. There cannot be like a conversation that makes it different. This is the job. So like when someone says the system isn't broken, it's working exactly how it's supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is.
Right.
And we do this all the time. Should their job be to oppress us? Obviously not. Do they say it is? Obviously not. They say they're there to serve and protect us, right? It says it on the side of their cars or on the badge or something, right? It's in an oath somewhere that y'all take. But that's not the job. And those officers know it's not the job. They know that their job is not to protect and serve you.
Right.
So when we're like, do your job, and they're like, I am, everybody's right.
They're like, duh.
Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're telling us their job is something that they're not doing.
Right. I want to make sure, while we still have time on this particular topic, I want to make sure we do circle back specifically to the calls to boycott, though. And,
getting there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. And, you know, like, I didn't see that. I guess I didn't see all the comments.
Yeah.
But the angle, like you immediately spoke to how some parts of the conversation were being driven by people who should not have been
a part of the conversation.
Part of the conversation or driving that element. And I didn't see that initially. I'm so glad you brought that to my attention because I listen to Black women. But go ahead.
So there were a lot of comments that, or not a lot, but there were comments that were definitely, boycott and this is unsafe for Black people. And as a Black man, business owner, how do you not know that? But the people saying that were not Black people. And I am forever and always going to find issue with someone who says they are an ally but immediately is like if you understand how this kind of decision can be made and what it actually is born of, that this is business class, shenanigans. I don't have a different way to say it. Like that's what that is. If you don't know that that's where that comes from or why there would be Black people that do believe that there needs to be more of a police presence or that there are Black people that want to be police officers, like if you don't understand those things, right? You should not be, your opinion, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Where you sit with it doesn't matter because you don't have enough information. So it's very much the same to me. Everyone's going to have their opinions and they're going to do that. It doesn't matter if they're informed or not. But you don't need to jump in and do all of that.
Right.
For me, the performative measures that our society takes is this fake ass stance of, I'm not giving you my money anymore. But then you do. You know, like you're literally, there are people right now who are saying, stop the genocide, I will not be complicit, do not use my money, and then go to Starbucks.
Yep. 100%. 100%.
If it's if we're talking about principles, I need to see that applied. I don't see it applied. Do you know how different this world would be if we actually divested from things that are harmful to us? And instead, we don't do that. We pretend to do that.
We will be impacting industry across the board.
Which is how you actually get change. I'm sorry, I did not mean to.
No, but like, to your point, like, you're against the genocide, you're in line at Starbucks. You're against the genocide, and you bought a fish fillet yesterday. It is me. Like, double fish fillet, extra cheese. It is me.
Okay.
Last Friday just passed. Like, and for someone to not understand how difficult it is for oppressed peoples to navigate the oppression.
Right.
Like you're saying. And then you're calling for a boycott. So what you're saying is this business now needs to fail. This black business owner, the people of color that are employed there, all of them need to suffer. But you're still buying your Starbucks. By this decision. Yeah. This solitary decision.
That those people are not, like, there's just, there is no just like, no police.
Yeah.
That's not a thing in the world that we live in right now.
Boycotting them does not shut down the police department.
Say it again?
Boycotting them does not shut down the police department. Right. It shuts down the black business. Yeah.
I mean, think about what the George Floyd protest looked like and how the police responded to peaceful protests with riot gear, with tear gas, with nothing but escalation. If the system of policing understood that what they did was murder a citizen, no matter what any other circumstances were to that.
Right.
It was 9 minutes and like 40-something seconds of one man with a knee on the neck of another man. That's not policing.
No.
Right? Or at least the way that it is supposed to be sold. But it is catching. It is getting your man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with the police not being willing to even accept that is not a way to actually be effective, they took the protest personally.
Very.
You know what I mean? They were like, oh, this is an attack on my blue life.
Right.
All I'm doing is going to work.
So many blue lives were birthed out of that moment.
Fam.
Just so many. Lo said, talking about the comments, it felt like a moral off in the comments. Who's the most moral and knows how black businesses should run? It was super weird vibes, so, not very constructive.
To that point, it isn't constructive for white people to come in and say, boycott this black business because they are in solidarity with the police when you don't even know if he's in solidarity or they're in solidarity with the police.
This discounts all of the community work that Deadstock has done to this point.
Like, we're not doing that.
This singular decision.
And I want to be clear, because this is not like one of those instances where it's very obvious I do not ever need to buy another album from R. Kelly. That's not what this is. Yeah.
This isn't me not playing Chris Brown records.
Right.
Yeah.
This really is like what to me feels like a misstep. It's a misstep that I think deserves a call in, not a call out.
Yeah.
And so if we are going to actually be effective community members with each other, if we are going to get each other to understand the historical context and understand why that is not an effective bridge building.
Yeah.
How in actuality it sends every wrong message that could be sent. You're not going to get that understanding if you don't have people in your community who are willing to talk to you about it.
That was fire.
Oh, thank you.
That was fire. I was a fan.
Well,
I was a fan in that moment. That was fire.
Reggae horns.
There was something you said. I think I was so impressed with what you were saying, and the thing that triggered my segue got lost.
That happens to me all the time.
I'm glad you got my camera on. I got lost in the black woman's words.
Oh, okay.
Because I listen so much.
All right.
So active listening. But that I forgot was, how active was listening if I forgot. Anyways.
So calling for a boycott in this instance, I think is absolutely dramatic and over the top. That said.
Period.
If you don't want to spend your money at a place, I understand that.
Cool.
I just don't think that this is a deserving moment of needing to tell everybody that they should also not spend their money there.
Right.
Because this is correctable. Like this isn't like the harm happened. Like there was a shooting, the police did this. Like there's time to mitigate.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Or at least it felt like there was time to mitigate.
Absolutely. It is all about timing.
It is.
Yeah.
Like there's.
Yeah.
It is.
Speaking of which, because it's all about timing. If you see an injustice take place, right? The time to speak on that injustice is when it happened. Not when it benefits you, Mingus.
Ooh. Dang. Segue King.
Listen, come on.
Went right. I mean, I wasn't done talking about Deadstock, but okay.
I just, we up against the clock. That's the only reason. Because the order in which you said to do the stories, it like lined up perfectly. It really did.
I'm a wonderful producer.
Boom. On the fly.
Okay, anyway, Mingus.
Yeah, so it was so there's a recent story, Willamette Week, and it's interesting because he's getting praise.
Of course he is.
He's getting praise.
Sorry,
for mentioning,
I'm gonna do my best not to yell.
For mentioning, he's now critiquing Renee Gonzalez, his reaction, his behavior.
Okay, just really quick. For anybody who has never known.
Yes.
Mingus Mapps, Renee Gonzalez are both current city council members in Portland who are also both currently running for mayor.
Correct.
Who are both not worth shit.
No, neither.
Who
neither
are
nor.
both not qualified,
no.
Should not even be on a ballot. And I guess we'll just get into why, I suppose.
And Mingus is a black man. I want to be clear about that.
Pro-police
Mr.
black
Mapps.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was an incident that took place on TriMet, 6 months ago at this point? It was a minute, in which Renee accused the black woman of assaulting him. Called the police and everything. Only for TriMet to release the video and be like, so that didn't happen.
Right.
Like, at all. None of it happened. And we have mentioned it both on the Monday show and the Thursday show, how irresponsible it has been of media and anyone with a platform or anyone that has his ear not to consistently ask him and hold his feet to the fire as to why you did that and how you plan on repairing that situation. Like, he just has been allowed to move on with every single thing Renee has done. So it strikes me as odd, someone who has been on city council with this man, who has had many opportunities in any of those city council meetings to bring it up. And now all of a sudden, he is saying, as a black man, if I were to do some of the things my competitors were doing, I would easily be eliminated from this race. Sir, I need you to keep that race card in your back pocket and sit on it the way you have all this time. I'm not here for this shit. Like, flat out. I'm not like, it's insulting. The only people it's not insulting to is the white people you're trying to cater to.
Well, yeah.
Every black person that sees you say something now in this moment should be just as furious as I am.
Yeah, you should want to knock the table over.
Yeah.
Because he has not had anything to say at all.
Right.
About any of those shenanigans. I don't remember him saying anything about the way that they were treating Joanne Hardesty during that campaign of legitimate, complete hatred against her.
As a black man. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared for that.
You know, as a black man.
Like, I don't remember him having anything to say.
Do you remember him trying to
reimagine some funds?
Take money from Reimagine Oregon?
I sure do.
As a black man.
A thing I'll never forget, that you wanted to take $5 million away from a black organization and said out your mouth because they did not spend the money correctly or, He did not have confidence in the way that they were using the funds.
Because they hadn't spent it.
LOL, they never got the funds. Are you not, as the person trying to appropriate those funds and give it to someone else, are you not supposed to know that they never got it?
The worst part about that was the double down. After finding out, after it was put out there by local media that they didn't even receive the funds, he didn't change his vote. The next time they met, him and Renee, his bosom buddy, still pushed to take that money away. So, sir, listen. This feigned concern for black life, not falling for it.
Yeah, when he hit us with
it.
I mean, who does that to a black woman? I think you, bro.
You do that.
You, him.
You, Renee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your other friends.
Stop it.
Your endorsers, the police. I think a lot of people do that.
Exactly.
And I think you never cared. And I certainly don't think you care now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we got to be real serious. Like, this is the thing that I did not want to get away from in that. So part of this is about apathy and being apolitical, right? Like, people thinking that there is a middle ground. And there is no middle ground with oppression. There's just not. And when you start to understand that this isn't a victim mentality. This isn't me looking to find reasons on why I'm not a billionaire. This is literally just the truth. It's just the truth.
Right. Right.
Everything is political because everything is a system of some sort that actually does run our lives. So there are multiple systems of oppression that run the country.
Right.
Everything's political down to the threads on the shoes you buy.
Yeah, the systems of oppression are industries, y'all.
They're industries.
They're literally industries.
And the idea that, like, we can just be like, well, I don't believe in white supremacy, so it's not real or it's not impacting me or I mean... Cool
story, bro.
That and, like, you do have an imagination, obviously. And I would like that imagination to change a bit. Like, think about the world you want to live in rather than the one you're trying to figure out how to crawl your way out of a barrel in.
Right.
What's the world that would actually be great? Because the fact of the matter is, none of us as individuals, and I mean that as individual business owners, individual whatever you do as individuals, none of us should be getting the argument of like, well, if you don't like homelessness so much, how come you don't let every homeless person live in your house? Like that, why, what?
That's so dumb.
I want you to think about it. Is the world that you want to live in the one with a bunch of people that are homeless and have nothing? Like, is that the world you do want? Like we get the headlines of third grader pays off school lunch debt. And we're supposed to be excited. We're supposed to be like, look at this feel-good story. Look at her doing community work. She's in third grade. Why does anybody have school lunch debt?
Right.
Think it through. Is the world that you want to live in one that doesn't feed children at school? When you can? Like you can.
Right.
We're doing it right now.
Right.
We've been doing it. Like.
And why is the initial response to the imagined utopia just no?
Like it could never happen, so why would we even think about it?
Pay off school loans? No.
I mean...
Raise the minimum wage? No. Why is your initial gut reaction more oppression? No.
And I'm going to tell you why your immediate reaction is that. It is all of the arms are working.
Right.
Right. Capitalism tells you you are not worthy if you are not producing. What good are you?
Right.
And if you are subscribing to finding your class of people that you want to be in and you're climbing that ladder and you're like, I'm not one of you poors down there. You know, I'm not gonna be one of you. I'm gonna make sure that I do whatever I have to do, which usually means harm other people.
Right.
In some way.
Right.
In order for you to get what you want. Is the world that you want to live in one that you have to do that or one that you don't? Because that's what it boils down to. You cannot be apolitical if you want to be a part of a society that takes care of each other.
Right.
You cannot just back out of these topics and conversations on some, I don't really like politics. Because you do.
Yeah.
The same people that say, I don't like politics, I don't like to talk about it, I hate that people talk about it all the time, then talk to their friends about hating their job. Yep. Why do they have to pay so much money for groceries? How come my power bill is so much? Nothing is different. How come my rent keeps going up? This is politics. Your entire life is politics. Right. There's no part of your life that isn't. They have legislated your bedroom.
Facts.
I want you to understand. They are allowed to kill us in any way. And you're saying, yes, more of that, please. There are people right now saying regulations are just too much. We just can't have regulations. There is an amount of shit.
Literally.
That gets to be in our food that is considered safe for us to eat. By the FDA.
And plastics.
There's a certain amount of plastics that's okay for us to eat. They have lied to us in our entirety of this civilization on what is healthy to eat.
Yep.
And what isn't.
Yep.
The idea that we are not still impacted by the things that we learned back then is asinine to me.
Yeah.
We're absolutely impacted by it. It absolutely impacts your opinion of things. It impacts how you take in information and what you do with it once you get it. I'm a person I'm like, listen, I find out that this system has been lying to me about a thing for all this time. I'm not mad at myself. I'm mad at that system.
As one should be.
I'm not like, how dare I not know?
Right.
No, how dare they lie to us?
Understand your place within the system.
How dare they spend all of our money that we actually need to live to tell us that we don't need that to live?
Right.
I mean, they literally take money from us to harm us. So we're just, paying for our own issue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we don't need Mingus to become mayor.
No, we can't have
Mingus
as mayor.
And we cannot have Renee.
No.
And fortunately for us, we do not have Eric Adams. Or Tiffany
Henyard.
Who are both mayors in their respective cities.
Yeah.
Eric Adams, who is now under federal investigation. The man is indicted.
Yeah.
Many of the people in his administration also under investigation. And this man comes out and says, it's because I'm black and I'm working on behalf of you people, the people that they're coming after.
Who the people? Who the people?
You New Yorkers.
Who? The NYPD.
No,
Olivia Benson.
That's not who he means.
Stabler.
No, that's who he's working with. That's not what he means.
Oh.
And because he bumped heads with Biden over immigration. You know, they're just trying to take a black man down, sir.
So I want to make sure that I'm understanding this. What you are saying is Democratic mayor of New York,
yes,
has been federally indicted for an actual laundry list of corruption and criming.
Absolutely.
And it's his own party that is taking him down because his own party is the one who, I don't know, opened the border. Greg Abbott was sending people to New York. Why was it Biden that's getting the call anyway?
I remember when that happened. And I remember saying, why aren't you taking shots at the governors that are sending the people to New York? I mean, why are you quiet about that? You
Texas
secret Republican?
Saying out loud, we are sending people to New York.
Right. And you're
Republican governor of Texas. We are sending people to New York. And Eric Adams was like, it's the Democrats.
It's Biden.
Number one. Number two, it's Biden. It's the Biden administration that is punishing me for saying out loud that they shouldn't be sending these people here, or they shouldn't what? Have the open borders that we don't have?
Black man, you ran saying you were going to bring back stop and frisk. You think I care an iota about your black ass or your ass being black? Well, you don't care about black New Yorkers. You couldn't possibly. You said you're going to fairly close Rikers. What was it? They switched solitary confinement. They switched the name of it to something else. They switched the name. Right.
It's like no longer solitary, it's timeout.
The man went and got baptized at Rikers.
Huh?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Never mind.
Put more cops in the subways. The over-policing is insane.
Oh, no, it's outlandish.
And now you want to take an opportunity, much like Mingus, much like Tiffany, to be like, they're targeting me because I'm black. And you're saying this to the black people that you have oppressed and not stood up for. It's crazy. That shit is wild, dog.
White supremacy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Identity politics is not God, I hate that term. Because the people that are always like, don't do the identity politics are the people who are doing the identity politics.
Facts.
Who are only ever saying something about a person's race, a person's sex, gender, all the things. Like,
right.
It's them. So all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, that it doesn't have the same ring for me, right?
Right.
It is another dog whistle. It's a DEI. It's affirmative action. It's all of those things.
Phrase of the week.
Right. To see it then be used by black people who know when they say it, when you hear it from an opponent who is non-black, when you hear it from them, you know what it is.
Right.
You hear it from Eric Adams and you're like, well, he wouldn't do that to me, I guess. I don't know. Like, I don't know how he has supporters. But the identity politics come in from people who are performing. They are doing theater.
Yep. Yep.
They are like performances of a lifetime. And so what else are they going to talk about? They don't have policy. They don't have, it's not. What else are they going to do? Eric Adams can't talk about how he's, made the city better.
Definitely can't.
He's going to talk about how whatever the mechanism is, the border, the Abbott sending people on buses, whatever it is, he's going to talk about why it's not his fault, something's failing.
Yeah.
Not, look how great I did.
Yeah.
Because I've now done this, demonstrable thing. I can show you that I fixed this. He can't do that.
Man's defrauded New York City to the tune of $10 million while shutting down No.
Libraries,
pools.
I mean, actual, oh man, what's it called?
Oh, pre-K programs.
But actual programs that are and services and that our communities need. Yeah. All communities need that. We need to be able to go to a pool. We need to be able to go to the library. We need to be able to put our kids in pre-K. Right. Those are foundational things for a society, for a neighborhood, for a community. And so to strip those funds in order to put them in his pocket, not even we had to, move it from here to the police because, crime is crazy, and it's not. I mean, imagine hiring 2,000 new officers when crime is down.
Right. Which one is it,
The crime is down, but whoa, boy, somebody keeps jumping these turnstiles. We need to have 1,000 police in the subway?
The shooting, was it last week in the subway? Did you heard about that?
Oh, by the police?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shot 4 people?
Yes.
I think including an officer?
Oh, I didn't know an officer got hit.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, what are we talking about? You're now in an enclosed space filled with people that are doing their level best to get to work, get to school, get home, make dinner, all the things. It's just...
Over a stolen fare under $3.
$2.90.
Right.
$2.90, 4 people dead.
They didn't die.
Oh, shot.
4 people shot.
My God,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Nope.
4 people shot. Right. 4 people shot. $2.90.
And I'm guessing that the people shooting weren't the civilians.
Mm-mm. It was not. It was not. And that's the thing, this indictment, these aren't, I know everyone's supposed to use the term allegedly. There are text messages. Devices have been seized. Devices have been seized almost a year ago. Yeah. And devices are continuously being seized by all parties involved. They have text messages breaking down him accepting money, him accepting bribes. This isn't
trips.
And those trips. This isn't, you're not going to play me.
My man said, I always go through Turkey, baby.
How we get to Chile? Can we go through Istanbul?
Sir, do you know where anything is? The fact that you could be the mayor and not know where any other place is on this map is wild to me.
Which is why it's untrue. He knows where everything is, including his bribes. So I need to go through Istanbul to get to New Jersey from New York. He knows full well where everything is. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I get the point.
Yeah, but the point is,
I don't think that's a smart man.
No, but the fact he was intentional enough to know that no matter where I'm going, it needs to go through this port.
That's a part of it.
Yeah. Come on, man. Dude.
Anyway.
Lay worst.
We accidentally ran out of time.
Did we?
Yeah. It's 8:30.
It's time to wrap. Shout out to everybody in the Chiz app. Jake Williams became our 66th subscriber. Thank you, Jake.
Thank you, Jake.
Super dope.
I do want to get, somehow we're going to have to talk about this a little more, because I do want to talk about the moral off. That too, to Carlos's point, this is performance. That's theater. Yeah. That is all the people that aren't actually doing things. Yeah. It doesn't need, we just don't need to do that. And if you knew the things to do, you'd probably not be arguing in the comments.
Right.
Right. Okay. Wrap it.
You got it. You're not going to rap.
I thought you did first. But stay engaged with us all week. Follow us on Instagram at News with My Fiance. Follow Ambush at Scambeezy. Follow me at Portland Morgan. Become a member. Sock it to our pockets at patreon.com/newswithmyfiance. And again, huge thank you to everybody who's getting us in this algorithm. Hit that like, make the comments, smash the like button or the subscribe button, the bell.
Indeed, indeed.
All of that.
That was another episode of News of My Fiance, Monday night, live, raw, in person, raw live. In the books, thank you for spending some quality time with us. This episode was made possible by our in-studio crew, Kyle J of Residual Audio, Jess, who is off today. Hope you feel better soon, my guy. And our remote quality control team of Michelle and Ross. Our studio sponsors, We Out Here Magazine and Spirited Justice, for hosting us each Monday. And of course, super thanks to all of y'all watching, listening, staying engaged, and hitting us up in them comments.
All of that.
Yay. And you know what it is. Don't let the individuals distract you from the systems. Poverty is indeed a policy choice.
Period.
People over profits, power to the people. And none of us are free until we're all free. We will catch you Thursday morning, 7:30 on X-Ray FM.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. You can catch this show streaming live on YouTube every Monday night from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And our podcast episodes are available everywhere you listen to podcasts except Spotify.